Hey, if y'all can hear me, let me know. We're going to get started here real shortly. If y'all can hear me, let me know. What's up, Monte? I see y'all here, man. Appreciate you. We'll get started here in about 1 minute. Countdown, 1 minute countdown. Hey. Coach Reggie in the building. 30 seconds till we get started. Hey. What's going on? What's going on, good people? Welcome to the second edition of Wide Open with Coach Reggie. I'm super excited about tonight's show as I have a very special guest that will be joining us real soon. My old teammate with the Detroit Lions shortly. Then he went on to go play for the Buffalo Bills and Tennessee Titans. So I'm very excited to have my old teammate on tonight, George Wilson. We was only teammates for a short time, but nonetheless, George had a great career, played 9 years, and I can't wait to get him on and let you guys hear his story. His story is sort of like mine. Wasn't drafted, came out of Arkansas, and so we'll talk about everything once he get on. But tonight I'm broadcasting from my man Donnie McEwen's house. Donnie McEwen, the big boss man, he'll boss your credit up. If you need your credit bossed up, contact Donnie McEwen, 501-352-1778. He will boss up your credit the same way he bossed up my credit. So periodically throughout the show tonight, I'll be talking about Donnie and what he's doing and how he's helping people get their credit right. So big shouts to Donnie McEwen and big shouts to my company, CR Sports, for all the latest gear. You can go to crsports.biz and find what you want. I'm sure we have a lot of things that you would like to purchase. So go to crsports.biz and tune in for all that you need on that website. So again, I'm going to get George on the phone. Tonight we're going to talk about a lot. So you don't want to miss these NFL stories and some of the crooked ways that the NFL can be towards guys in my position and in George's position. George got lucky to be able to play 9 years, but for guys that was not drafted like us, it's hard to get in 9 years. So I'm super proud of George, and he'll tell you all that tonight once he gets on. So we'll be right back with Mr. George Wilson. Give us a couple seconds to George get on. Here you go.
You got me, bro?
I got you. Give me 1 second, George.
Yep, you good.
Get everything laced up for you. What's up, baby?
What's up with it, big dog?
Got my man George E. Wilson on the line, man. How you been doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed.
It's been a
I'm
long
blessed,
time since I've
Red.
seen you, man. It's been a long time.
Switchtail, you already know, man. It's been forever.
I think last time I seen you was after that Buffalo Bills game in 2004 in the preseason.
Oh, yep, you're right. You're right. When we
That's the
played
last
against
time
each other, yeah, we all trying to make it. You're right.
So where you at these days, man? Tell the people where you are, man.
Man, I have a home in Atlanta. I bought a condo when I was still playing ball, and this is where I used to do my off-season training at. And so I got a home here, and it's within driving distance to Paducah, where I'm originally from, and that's where my farm that I own and operate is located at. So I split my time most days between Atlanta and Paducah, Kentucky now.
Now, would that happen to be your farm right there?
Oh man, that's it. That's the after. You didn't get the before shot, man. That's a lot of sweat equity you seeing right there, man. But
So,
yeah, man, that's my baby right there.
so tell me how you go from the NFL, man, to a farm. Now, were you a country boy to begin with?
Absolutely. You know that, Reggie. You knew that from the moment we met. You heard me talk. You knew I was from the country, you know. But growing up, my grandfather and my grandmother owned the property, and they raised tobacco, and so we grew up doing that. You know, at Saturday mornings after a Friday night game, you know, I was out in the tobacco field or climbing in the top of a tobacco barn. You know, so I got it the hard way and the long way early on. My grandfather taught us a strong sense of work ethic and accountability and responsibility and sacrifice, and those attributes sustained me on my journey to the NFL. But yeah, man, I learned to drive on a tractor, and a lot of my fondest memories were at my grandparents' farm. And so it's a humbling honor to be able to be a steward over the property now and trying to sustain it and position it to be sustainable into the future.
Now, before we get into a lot of what we're going to talk about, let's show the people that's in Arkansas, the George Wilson that they all knew. Then we're going to come back to the Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans, George Wilson. So give me 1 second, Joe, while I show these people George Wilson.
Ball from the end zone. Easy pickings for Arkansas. George Wilson, and it's a touchdown for Arkansas. Oh. Smith in motion. Jones with time. In the end zone, George Wilson caught it at the 1 and literally fought his way in for the touchdown.
Run formation on second down. Jones to throw. Pass is caught at the 30. Now Jones under pressure. Throws. Pass is caught at the 25-yard line. That'll be
Birmingham. Got a little sprint out pass, and we throw what we call a deep comeback.
Romo to throw from his end zone. Has time. Intercepted down the middle. George Wilson. Touchdown, Buffalo! Wilson, who had played only 3 games coming into this season, a wide receiver when the Bills originally signed him last year, listed as a...
George, talk about how that felt, man, to have your first professional touchdown. What that felt like, coming from where you came from, getting a chance to actually play the game and participate in the game. Talk about what that felt like against my Cowboys.
Oh man, it's almost hard to put into words, but I'm gonna do my best. But you know, that moment Was 16 years in the making. I was introduced to football and fell in love with the game in the 4th grade and made it up in my mind that I wanted to be an NFL player. And so from the inception of that dream to that moment on Monday Night Football, it was 16 years of blood, sweat, and tears, of successes and failures, of good decisions and bad decisions, of wins and losses. It's a long journey, but that one moment made it all worth it. That one moment showed that if you have a dream and you're willing to work and you're willing to put the time and the effort in and make the necessary sacrifices, that your dream is possible too. And so that moment was not just for me. That moment was for Paducah, Kentucky. Coming from a small town, rural community, agriculture part of the state, oftentimes we're looked over. And so I made it out and had an opportunity to play on one of the biggest platforms in all of football, Monday Night Football. And to have a play like that, it just set the tone for the rest of my playing career. And what better way to do it against my childhood team as well, Reggie? The Dallas Cowboys was my childhood team growing up. And so that story couldn't have been written any better. And I'm just so grateful for that moment, because like I said, that moment was not just for me. That was for all my coaches, my teachers, the people I went to church with, all the people that invested so much into me for me to have that moment. Reggie, that was you. For real, like, Reggie, you took me under the wing. Let me tell your viewers what you did for me, because I'm on your shoulders today. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it later on how we gonna be, honored. But Reggie, from day one, bro, I come into the Detroit Lions. I'm a rookie, undrafted free agent. You only knew that I was from Paducah and I played at Arkansas for your college coach, Houston Nutt. He was also my college coach. Man, Reggie, from day one, you poured into me. We rode to the facility together every day. You rented a baby blue Jaguar during training camp. I remember it. We used to listen to the comedy, the comedian, doing his prank calls. We used to sit and listen to that for hours, laughing. Lucius. But in between those laughs, right? Yeah, Lucius. Like in between those laughs, bro, you was pouring so much wisdom into me, man. You taught me the business, Reggie. You know what I'm saying? So many guys play, multiple years in the league and never understand the business of football. You helped me to identify where I was on the team and really helped me to temper my expectations. You remember I came in thinking I'm about to make this roster. You know what I'm saying? You let me know from the very beginning, hey, that's not going to happen. That's not why you here. For you to stick around, you got to make the practice squad. And you got to compete against this guy, that guy, and that guy. Them the 3 guys that you got to beat out for that practice squad spot. And these are the reasons why this is the situation you're in. We talked about draft picks and how important the organization views them. We talk about free agency signings, new contracts, new money, that gives them seniority and priority from the team. That gives high salary guys that have a high cap hit that they got to keep in the fold just because it's just too much of a financial loss to the organization. And so you gave me that wisdom as a rookie, bro. Reggie, I poured that into so many other guys to help them the same way you helped me. I'm not sitting here talking to you tonight without you pouring into me like that, because you helped me to temper my expectations and understand that there's a certain process, there's a certain order of things. And until I get that opportunity where they put me in a position to have a starting opportunity or to make the team, to play as special teams, right now I got to show a team attitude or a work ethic that they don't mind putting on their practice squad, because I don't care if it's a look team. I used to love going against Dre Bly and Fernando Bryant in scout team. If it was a ball up, it was mine. And I got that from Fitzhill at Arkansas. Ball up, I'm up. And if I can't come down with the ball, nobody comes down with the ball. And I had that that blue collar mentality from the very first day. But man, you gave me that business side of the game that most guys get toward the end of their career when they're cut because they're surprised. Everything that happened to me, I knew was gonna happen to me. When my contract was not renewed in Buffalo, I knew that was coming before the season even started. Why? Because I knew how to read the writing on the wall. And I had that wisdom and that perspective because of you, Reggie. You know what I'm saying? So that night on Monday Night Football, man, that's you. That's you too.
Man,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Like there's a lot of people that poured into me, but Reggie, for real. I know we haven't been able to connect in person, but man, when people ask me about my story and about people that made an impact on my life, you're a name that I never forget. You know what I'm saying? Because you gave me that knowledge and that wisdom and that attention. You was a vet at that time. You didn't have to spend that time with me, even if you did have connections with Coach Nutt. But you saw something in me that you invested all those hours and that time with me in that car, in the cafeteria, in the weight room, in the indoor facility. Man, we spent so many hours together, man, and you poured your whole life and your wisdom and life as a professional into me. And I turned that into an 11-year playing career. Bro, I don't make it without you, Reggie. You know what I'm saying? So to all y'all kids out there, all y'all parents that support Reggie and his football league, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy's doing it because he cares. And he wants to see your kids live out their dreams as he was able to live out his. His heart's in the right place. And I know that from personal experience. So, man, you can have this shirt off my back. You can have anything you want
Man,
from me, Reggie, because I'm not here without you. I'm standing on your shoulders. So I just get, I told you that, a little bit of that, when we first reconnected, but I needed to say that to all the world so they can see it and hear it for themselves and hear it directly from me, man. Like, man, I cannot thank you enough for all those conversations and all that time you invested into me. That's why I don't have a problem giving of myself to others because of unselfish people like yourself.
I appreciate that, man. I was trying to hold back tears, man, because I know how it is, man. I wasn't drafted, bro. You wasn't drafted, bro. And the road that I took, I was cut 6 times before I finally made it.
Yeah,
And even
you should
after I
tell me
made
that.
it, I was cut 3 more times and I was traded twice. So I spent a lot of my time upstairs in the front office learning the business part of it. And when I remember you came in the same year that Roy Williams came in. Roy would, Roy would be my next week's guest, man. But Roy came in, and I remember giving Roy a speech. He came in first round pick, fourth pick overall. Locker was next to mine. And Roy the media was always around Roy's locker, which means they was always around my locker, which means I had no room every single day. And I remember telling Roy every day, man, don't fall into thinking these people love you because they don't. They love what you can do. The minute you cannot play, them people are gonna leave you alone. And I would tell
Yep.
Roy this shit all the damn time. Well, when we played against the Cowboys, like week 8 or 9, Roy hurt his ankle 2 weeks prior. Because that following week, I started against the New York Giants, scored a touchdown. And then next week, we had to go play the Cowboys. And we was in pregame, and they had Roy outside testing his damn ankle. He kept running up and down the field. Now, selfishly, I told Roy this story last week. Selfishly, I was hoping he didn't play because that made me the third receiver, so I was going to get a whole lot of snaps that game, right?
Yep.
So when Roy shook his head and told him he couldn't play, I was like, yes, I'm going to play back and kill Dallas. We come back the next day. We lost to the Cowboys. We get back in Detroit. We in the locker room. Next day, media day comes in. Media come in. They're crucifying Roy, man, talking about he's soft and don't play through injuries. Roy said, "Swintown, you told me this shit, man. I said, bro, they don't care about you, man. You are a commodity. The
Yep.
minute your black butt can't produce on that field, you just another overpaid black man that's making too much money. That's keeping it real. And I would tell all the free agents who came in, when they didn't get drafted and they came in minicamp, I would have the free agent meeting. And the same way you say I poured into you, I poured into every last one of those guys. When y'all get here, don't come in here trying to be big time. These veteran guys gonna tell you not to go hard, be easy, don't hit them. Those guys gonna be there regardless. You take your button there, you go hit somebody. You go hard every single play. And like Coach Nutt would tell me a long time ago when I was in Seattle, and I was mad because I wasn't getting no reps in '99. And I called him. I said, Coach, man, they ain't giving me no reps. Coach Nutt said, don't count your plays. Make your plays count.
Absolutely.
Meaning
Absolutely.
that if you only get 5 plays, you go hard them 5 goddamn plays because you don't know who watching that film upstairs.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
with me and you both being free agents, we weren't drafted. We had to go in there and prove ourselves. So talk about going in because you came in to Detroit as a wide receiver. You ended up playing safety. Tell them how you went from being a receiver to a safety and how the adjustment was.
Oh man, this is a great story how these dots are all connected. But first I was a walk-on at the University of Arkansas. I went to college on the academic scholarship and walked on the football team and earned a scholarship, right before my sophomore year. And so that experience as a walk-on prepared me for what life in the NFL as an undrafted rookie free agent was going to be like. And so, I'm working my tail off day in and day out, and making the defense mad. But at the same time,
whoa, go back up. Did you say you walked on at Arkansas?
I walked on the Arkansas football team. I went to school on the academic scholarship. I had a 3.7 GPA coming out of high school, and I played football, basketball, baseball, and I ran track. So I was busy before school started all the way to the end of the school year, maintaining the 3.7.
Wow. So Coach Nutt brought you into Arkansas as a walk-on, and you went pro. Coach Nutt brought me into Murray State as a walk-on, and I went pro.
Absolutely.
Coach
he
Nutt
got a
knows
good
talent.
eye for talent. He knows talent.
I was just gonna say, man. Coach Nutt was the man. But go ahead, man. Finish your story.
But yeah, so I'm making plays on the scout team and everything. I never forget this day. In the middle of practice, you remember Sherman Lewis was the offensive coordinator in Detroit under Steve Mariucci. And so Sherm and was the offensive coordinator, and Dick Geron was the defensive coordinator. And so they pulled me aside at practice one day and was like, hey, George, have you ever thought about playing safety? Hear me, I'm young, not really understanding what they're saying to me. And I'm like, no, coach, I've never given that any thought. I haven't played safety since high school. I'm a wide receiver. And I laughed. And Sherm was like, hey man, you ought to give it some thought, man. I think you might could make that transition. And I remember telling him, I was like, hey coach, I'm just trying to make the team and stay here. If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down with what got me here, and that was me being a wide receiver. Coach Sherm respected that, and they let me go back to practice. but some injuries happened, and a couple of weeks later, they gave me my walking papers. And so I got cut. Coming back from, we had
hold on. So Detroit put you at safety white? Because I don't remember that part.
No, they didn't. They didn't put me at safety. They asked me would I be open to trying some safety out to see if it was a fit. And I declined the opportunity. And so while I was still there and everything, I ended up, getting released from the practice squad a couple weeks later. And, I was down and out. I got cut on a Tuesday morning. I just hung out with my teammates the night before, and I got that call early to come and bring my playbook. I never forget how devastated I was.
We got cut the same day.
Yeah. And I was really devastated because I really didn't know if another opportunity was coming. And so, but lo and behold, I get a call. My agent gets a call from the Buffalo Bills the same day, and he tells me to pack up my bags and to get to Buffalo. And I had just bought a car. I just bought my Chrysler 300, and I loaded my stuff up. Said bye to my roommate. You remember Keith Belton? He was the fullback. But Thumping got activated, you know what I'm saying? And it frustrated me because we both was on the practice squad, but we got injuries at the running back spot, so he got elevated and I didn't. You know,
I remember
but so
the name.
long.
I can't put a face with it. I remember the
Yeah,
name.
so I ended up getting released. Buffalo signs me. I remember driving across the Fort Erie Bridge into Buffalo, thinking I was about to see New York City skyline, but I drove into a snowstorm, and that was my welcome to Buffalo. But just to speed the story up, you know, I ended up playing on their practice squad the rest of that year. I ended up making the roster the following year under Coach Mike Mularkey. But my second year up there in 2006, they hired Dick Geron, who was the defensive coordinator in Detroit when I was there on the practice squad.
And I forgot he was at Detroit.
Right. So now you're gonna find out how I actually made that transition. And so I made the team in 05, but when Coach Geron came back in, you know, he put me back down on the practice squad. And that was kind of frustrating because, you know, you get a taste of that regular, you know, that roster salary. You want to keep getting that. And so I got sent back down to that P squad and had to, you know, go back to being on the scout team. And so I did that all year. And at the end of the season, Coach activated me for the last game as a reward for my hard work all season, you know. And so I ended up being able to go on the road, you know, get the, you know, game day experience. And so we fast forward to that spring. So now this spring 2007, I never forget. I walk into the Bills facility. I'm getting dressed for my off-season workout to go lift and run. Coach Geron comes in the locker room looking for me. He's like, George, hey, can you come up to my office? And, you know, I'm like, yes, sir, I'll be right up. You know, I'm thinking I haven't done anything. So, you know, I don't know what coach want to talk to me about. So I get up there and he was like, you know, George, we got a lot of money, a lot of draft picks invested in the wide receiver room. You know, the numbers are going to be hard for you to make the team, but we love you. We love your work ethic. We love your
right
physical
there.
play. Yeah.
So now he's getting into the business part of
exactly.
It's not about your talent. It's about the amount of money they're paying these guys. So what he's saying, guys, is no matter how well George had done at wide receiver, he wasn't going to play. Simply because of the amount of money the players were making and he was making. See, what you guys got to realize is when you get to this level right here, it ain't about what you can do. It ain't about what you can do. It's about who they're playing and how much they're paying them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Yep. So he's telling me, breaking it down to me from a business standpoint, which I can understand because you taught it to me. So I understand exactly what he's saying. And so he's like, hey, we want to create an opportunity for you to be able to still be here. What do you think about safety? He's like, I know we mentioned it to you before when you were in Detroit, but you know, I want to revisit it with you. And so I remember sitting there with Coach having some similar thoughts that I had in Detroit, but I also looked at my 3 years that I had been in the NFL at that point. I hadn't caught a pass, let alone a touchdown, and I saw playing time sporadically, you know, because I wasn't a top 5 wide receiver guy, and I wasn't a top producer on special teams. And so I was not a person that they were going to be able to keep on the roster at the level of productivity that I had or the salary that I was going to be making. And so I just remember telling Coach, I was like, Coach, I don't mind doing it, but if we're doing this just to get me out of the way, then I'd rather stay at wide receiver and try my best at wide receiver. But if you're telling me that you're going to give me a real shot to make the team as a safety, then I'll consider it. He said, George, that's fine. He said, you don't have to make a decision now. Just go home, think about it, talk about it with your family, call your agent, and then when you come to a decision, you just let me know. I go home, I call my brother, I call my mom, I call my agent. And they're all saying, you don't have anything to lose. You haven't been on the field as a wide receiver. Maybe this is the opportunity you've been waiting for. I go back in the next day. I'm like, Coach, I'm going to do it. We traded playbooks. He gave me a defensive playbook for my offensive playbook. And I never forget, I walked into the DB room that he introduced me. And I don't think most guys took me serious. I really don't. But there were two guys that did, and that was a guy by the name of Kawaki Thomas, who was a new free agent signing from Jacksonville, from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we had another young guy by the name of Jim Leonard, who was also a safety and is now the defensive coordinator at University of Wisconsin. Well, Jim helped me to learn the playbook and to simplify all that defensive information and helped me to process it in a way that I understood what my job was depending on what the play call was.
Now, right there, very important. The playbook, the NFL playbook. I can remember one of the plays that we ran in Detroit. You may as well. It was called double wing right, two jet, all go, double slant. The West Coast offense. Talking about the playbook, I don't care how good you are. If you ain't no first, second, third round pick, if you can't pick that playbook up, you ain't making no team. And I remember coming in and them telling me, learn more than one position. But when you come from a simple offense where a play call might be twins right, 70 high, then you hear double wing right, two jet, all go, double something. I'm like, what the hell? From Murray State to the league, that's totally different, man. So I know a couple of times I got cut. It wasn't because of my talent, because I made plays. It was because of the mental aspect of the game. And you got to know what you're doing because these coaches' lives depend on it. Your teammates' jobs depend on it. So to go back and tell them how important it is to know what you're doing because your one mess up could cost you the game, and your one mess up may cause this next guy to get cut.
Job. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
People don't realize you playing every week for a job, but you can mess up and cause another person to get cut.
Absolutely. Yeah. The game of football is a very cerebral game. I know most fans probably watch it and just look at the athleticism, but there is an extremely high level of mental toughness and intelligence that it takes to be a successful veteran in the NFL. It's not something that comes easy, and they invest too much time and energy and resources into those playbooks, into running all those reps. And you can't afford to have mental errors because they've invested the time and given you all the resources you need to learn it. And so learning that playbook is the first step. If you don't know what you're doing when you're out there on the field, they can't put you out in the field. If they can't trust you to learn your playbook Monday through Saturday, they can't trust you to put you on the field on Sunday. And so, you have to be a student of the game. And where do you learn how to be a student? In the classroom, at school, growing up in your elementary, your middle school, your high school, and your college professional classes. You have to have that same focus and dedication that you have in football. You have to have that same focus in that classroom because you're as the NFL player, you're always a student. You're in a meeting room. You're taking notes. The coach is giving you information. You have to be able to process it and recall it and apply the coaching point all in less than a fraction of a second.
You don't have much time at all, man.
Yes, absolutely. And so, I learned that playbook and was able to make enough plays. Like Coach Nutt told you, make your plays count. I didn't get a lot of plays early, but when I got those plays, I showed that I knew where to line up. I knew what my responsibility was, and I gave great effort. And while I did make mistakes, I made them going full speed, and they could coach my mistakes. And I just got more and more opportunities, and I eventually made the roster as the third string free safety. They kept 5 safeties that year just for me. Most teams keep 4, but because of my special teams productivity, they kept me on as that fifth safety. And by the 5th game, I ended up going from third string to a starter. Both of the guys that was in front of me got hurt. In the first game of the year, the starter broke his ankle. He's on IR the rest of the year. 4th game of the year, the backup, who was down the starter, strained his calf muscle. So in the next week, they have no choice but to look at me.
Right.
I find out on Wednesday morning that I'm going to be the starting safety against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
Hey, and I know you was nervous as hell.
Hey, I was so nervous. I didn't even tell my family that I was gonna be starting because I didn't want all the attention and the phone calls. I said they're gonna make it worse for me.
Well,
So
look,
I didn't tell them.
we got a couple more topics to cover, man. But before we do, again, I'm broadcasting live from the big boss man, Donnie McEwen's house. If you need your credit bossed up, call Donnie McEwen. That's anybody. That's not just local in Arkansas. You need your credit fixed, call 501-352-1778. That's Donnie McEwen. He will boss up your credit the same way he did mine. Now, let's change subject a little bit. Tell me about this, man. You got women asking me about you. Now, first of all, you married, George? Because I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm not married, but I am in a relationship though.
Okay. That's what I look. I got
Oh man,
women that want to
I
know.
knew when you told me you was digging on the internet today. I said, man, I gotta be ready for Reggie. He gonna bring him out.
Say, man, when did you start modeling? Look, hey, G. G, when you start
Hey,
modeling, bro, when did
my goodness. Hey, I never forget. I walked into a team meeting one day in Buffalo, and that's the picture. Coach started the meeting, and that's the picture he started the meeting with, and everybody fell out laughing because he wanted to put me on blast for being a model and in music videos and everything. But man, I got into that. I was working with a publicist, and I'd never taken professional pictures before, but I did express an interest in doing some modeling, and we did a couple of photo shoots, and got some decent photos, and started shopping them around, and ended up being on Essence Eye Candy and on the website and in their magazine, and that ended up leading to some opportunities to get in a couple of music videos, and that kind of took my I guess my notoriety to a higher level because your non-traditional football fans knew me from being in the videos with Mary J. Blige and Marsha Ambrosius, as well
I
as
didn't
some
know
of
that.
my modeling my modeling pictures and
Hey,
stuff.
I didn't
So
even know that till just now, man. So my man go from an NFL free agent. But that just shows you, man, how God can bless you when you're doing things the right way. You went in, you worked hard, and you earned yours. A lot of these guys get in there, man, and you're vested. And you're vested. If y'all don't know what vested means, if you play professional sports and you don't get vested, man, it's
you miss
it's
out on
uh
all them benefits.
it's hard. You know, I know a player that because back then you had to get in 4 years and three
Mm-hmm.
games is counted as 1 year. So follow me, y'all. You needed 3 years and 3 games. That's 4 years basically. I think Clint Stunner, who you know very well,
Yep.
Clint Stunner got in 3 years and 2 games. And Miami
Oh
Dolphins
wow.
cut him right before week 3 because how it works, guys, is the last team that you play with is the team responsible for owing you your 401k. So if that team doesn't see you in their long-term plans, they'll cut you.
Right
So Clint
before
Stunner
your
needed
benefits hit, yeah, or they'll cut
right.
you right before your benefits hit. Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember when I was in week 3 with Detroit, and week 4, I was like, week 2, I'm like, just let me be on the roster Wednesday at midnight, and I'm good. And I remember I got my 4 years in. I was like, bam, I don't want to be cut, but when I turn 45 or older, I should be set for life. And I thank God that guys like myself and yourself, man, that were able to get in 5 years and you played 11 years. But let me say, man, congratulations to you. Um, you and I are both going into the Kentucky Pro Hall of Fame at the same time. Coming up in June, they got the press conference tomorrow. And it's a big honor, man, to be inducted into the Kentucky Pro Hall of Fame. We're going in with current Green Bay Packer Randall Cobb and
Mm-hmm.
a few more guys. So talk about the phone call you got that day when they told you that you were going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh man, when I got the call, I really didn't. I really couldn't process it until I actually hung up. I've heard about this organization before, and I was told that it was very difficult for someone who didn't attend a Kentucky college or university to actually get in. And so when I got that call, I remember hanging up the phone and I was just overwhelmed with emotion, sitting here in my living room. I was just full of emotion and full of all the memories of all the people that helped me to get to that moment. I thought about all my teachers and my coaches. I thought about, guys like you and Takeo Spikes and London Fletcher, Troy Vincent, Lawyer Malloy, Jim Leonard, Kawaki Thomas, and so many more guys that poured into me and showed me the way to be a productive professional and to be, conduct yourself in a professional manner that one that shows leadership, that shows a team first attitude, and shows a willingness to do whatever it takes to win the game. And so if that's covering a kick, or if that's starting on defense, I'm willing to do whatever that was. And so to get that call and now to get that recognition, it's an incredible honor. I'm humbled by it, but it's an achievement for Paducah. It's an achievement for all those people that invested so much into me, for me to live out my dreams. That this is a celebration of all of our efforts collectively, because I didn't get to where I am today by myself. And so this is something that we're going to share and celebrate together. And then to find out that I'm being inducted with you, that made it 1,000 times more sweeter, because I'm like, this can't be anything but God. How is it that I'm going to be inducted with the guy who gave me the knowledge and the wisdom to sustain my career and to establish my career? Now I'm going to be inducted alongside with you in the same class for the 20th anniversary of this organization. It couldn't have been written any better. And it only could be ordained by the man upstairs. I firmly believe that, Reggie, that this was destined for you and I to be enshrined together, because we are connected. I'm standing on your shoulders, bro. I'm standing on your shoulders. I'm doing this because of you and people like you, and I can't thank you enough. And it's so much of an even better experience that we're going to be able to experience this together.
I appreciate it, man. I remember when I got the phone call. I do lawn care, and I had a contract, and so I got the phone call from Frank Minifield. And I remember when he first called me, I was on the phone talking. He was like, "Hey, it's Frank Minifield, Cleveland Browns, yada yada yada." I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll call you back." I didn't know what it was. I mean, true story. So I got there and talking on the phone, and I called that number back, and it was no answer. So he called me back, and I thought it was some kind of prank. So I was like, "Okay." He was like, "Reggie Swinton." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Just call and tell you, man, that you're up for the Kentucky Pro Hall of Fame." Now I got it on Bluetooth, so my employees are listening to it, and I had to pull over because like you said, man, I was full of emotion because I always felt like I've never in my life been given my just due. Never. I was always over. Not that I played the game for just due, but I feel like at some point in time, when will somebody recognize the hard work I put in? You know what I mean? And so,
Absolutely.
Murray State hadn't put me in. The state of Arkansas hadn't put me in. And so when that phone call came and he was telling me about it, and as he was talking, I was online Googling Kentucky Pro Hall of Fame, and I seen had Deion Branch, had Champ Bailey in that thing, man. And I just started crying, bro. And my guys kept hitting me on my shoulder and hit me in the back of my head. And I'm sitting there, man, like snot bubbles because somebody
Yeah.
finally seen the good in my work and want to recognize it, man. And I'm truly humbled. I'm excited that all my family will be there, man. My 4 children will be there. My grandbaby, my wife, my parents are still living, man. So I've always wanted to do something like this with my family there because my family always been there for me anyway. So I didn't
Absolutely.
want to do this and not have my family there, man. So I'm truly honored to be going in with you, Randall, and the other guys, man. And this is a moment I'll cherish the rest of my life.
Absolutely. I can't wait to put that purple jacket on. I know you dreading it. You want to, because you got to, but you don't want to. But that purple gonna look good on you, bro. I can't wait to snap up.
Listen,
You
for
know
those of
what
y'all who
it
don't know, he's a
is.
cute dog.
yeah. So Reggie gonna have to put that purple coat on, man, and we're gonna have to get some shots of it. But man, it's definitely I think it'll be emotional even then, to be able to feel it and to see the joy in our families' eyes as they share in that moment. Because like you said, our families have been with us from the very beginning. They've nurtured, they cultivated the talent that was within us and helped us to maximize our full potential. And it's going to be a even better experience and an emotional experience having them there with us. And I look forward to that.
Well, guys, the press conference is tomorrow morning at 9:30 Central Time. I put it on Facebook. George and I would love for everybody to get on and watch the press conference as they announce us as the newest inductees of the Kentucky Pro Hall of Fame, man. I can't wait. Probably won't sleep well tonight, man, because, again, I'm truly honored by this. But now we got a question, George, from my man, Mr. Eric Baker says, and it's for you. It says, it says, by starting off as a receiver, what type of advantage do you think that gave you in your transition to playing safety?
Man, that's a great question, Eric. And I didn't even include that. When I was making that transition, and I was processing all that new information, I sat down and I said, this is a lot to have to process and learn in one off season. And so I sat down with my playbook and I asked myself, what do I know? What do I have right now that can help me to shorten this learning curve? And I had to remind myself, well, I know offense. I know the route tree. I know splits by the wide receiver. I know how the routes the depths of the routes have to match the drop of the quarterback. I know the weaknesses of the coverage. So based on the coverage we're playing, I understand how they're going to try to attack us and manipulate the coverage in order to get somebody open. And so that offensive background as a wide receiver drastically shortened that learning curve for me to be able to go from reacting as a defender to anticipating as a defender. I knew how to watch film as a wide receiver, studying those coverages. I learned that when I was in college at Arkansas under Fitzhill and Anthony Lucas and Mike Williams and Michael Snowden and Hubert Loudermilk. Those are my OGs in Arkansas. They taught me how to watch film, and I was able to apply that film study and preparation to the defensive side of the ball. So that offensive background definitely helped me to shorten my learning curve and be able to go from reacting to what the offense was doing to now I'm anticipating. And then another person that really influenced me was London Fletcher. Anytime I was on the scout team in Buffalo, London would always know what the play was before we would even hike the ball. And I'm like, how does this guy know what I'm about to run before I even come out of my stance? He knew because he studied film. He knew because he was in his playbook. He knew because he was a student of the game. And I told myself, if I'm ever on the field, I got to be able to talk and communicate like London did. And so that definitely helped me to shorten that learning curve and definitely having good hands as a wide receiver. It wasn't too hard to catch those interceptions when they came my way, as a defender as well. So being able to put that offensive background and that offensive knowledge, applying that, to my defensive playbook and to the techniques that they were teaching me definitely helped to shorten that learning curve and position me to be able to capitalize on the guys in front of me going down and being injured and me being ready and prepared to step up and take advantage of that opportunity. That's a great question.
For those of y'all that missed it, let me show y'all this.
Romo to
This
throw
is
from his end zone.
George's first career.
Has time. Intercepted down the middle. George Wilson. Touchdown, Buffalo!
Man, I get chills watching this every time.
And
my
it
hair
was
is standing up.
football, man.
If you can't see it, man, the hair is standing up on my arms right now. Man, I got chills just watching it.
Hey, Monday Night Football, brother. One more, Mark.
George Wilson, who had played only 3 games coming into this season, a wide receiver when the Bills originally signed him last year, listed as a...
Man,
You
so we
know,
got a question
with
here from Tina wants to know, which position did you prefer, receiver or safety?
oh, safety, definitely. It is much better to be the predator than to be the prey. I'd much rather deliver the hit than to take the hit. Absolutely. That's not even a close comparison. It was a different mentality on that defensive side of the ball. It was aggressive. It was tenacious. It was, very aggressive. And I love being on that side of the ball much better than offense.
Well, George, man, I certainly thank you, man, for coming on tonight. Y'all can follow George. Y'all see his social media handles up under him. Y'all can go follow my man George. I can't wait, man, to see you in June. It's gonna be a great 3 days, man, 3-4 days for us, man. And hold on, is that the game where the boys came all the way back in the fourth quarter? Is that the game where
Yes,
the Cowboys came all the way back? So
yes,
look.
Tony Romo threw like 5 picks that night. And they ended up beating us. I think Dan Bailey may have kicked a 53-yard field goal to beat us as time expired. Yes, that was a very bittersweet night. I still
Again,
can't believe
George,
we lost that.
man, thank you, brother, man. I can't wait to see you in June. And you coming on, man, made some single ladies happy. They've been hit me up all day. And got one that hit my wife up, wanted to know whether you was married or not, man. So he is not married, but he is in a relationship. So when y'all go follow my man George, leave him alone.
Yeah, Reggie, I got to get down there and see your league and see all your teams you got going, man. Come down there and support your efforts and speak some life and share my testimony with your guys, man. I got to come down there and pay it forward. That investment you made into me, I need to pay that forward into those Little Rock kids. So I look forward to that opportunity.
I appreciate you, man. Take care, brother.
Man, love.
I love you, man. Later.
Later.
So, guys, that was George Wilson, man. That was a great interview. And if you guys notice, I don't have any kind of cue cards. I don't go off a script because these are guys that I know personally. I know what's going on, and I think my audience will like it better by being real. This show will air each and every Wednesday night at 8:30. I'll be broadcasting live from different locations. Tonight, again, I'm at Dunning McEwen's house, the biggest credit score boss in the game. If you need your credit bossed up, please call 501-352-1778. Dunny will boss up your credit. Appreciate it, Buck. Next week, guest. Next week, I will have wide receiver Roy Williams, who was my teammate in Detroit, first round pick. That'll be next Wednesday. The week after that, I will have Coach Houston Nutt. And the week after that, I will have Brubman from the fifth floor. Brubman upstairs, fifth floor. The show will get greater and greater. Oh, and the week after that, I will have Rocket Ishmael. So, guys, stay tuned to Wide Open with Coach Reggie. I'm always keeping it real. Again, peace. I'll see y'all next week.